Sporting Dog Adventures, run, boy,
That was
run.
awesome.
Everything you
Good
need
boy,
is
here.
here under the sun. Everything you need is here under the sun.
The Sporting Dog Adventures podcast is proudly brought to you by Soggy Acres Retrievers. Whether you're looking for a black, yellow, or chocolate Labrador Retriever puppy, please check out our website for more information at www.soggyacres.com. You can also email Jeff at sportingdogtv@gmail.com or call 262-215-9683. And remember, everyone deserves a Soggy dog. Hey, welcome to the Sporting Dog Adventures podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Fuller. We're here for a show prior to summer because it is getting to the point where it's time to get a puppy for many because people want them in summer. It's time to start training for many because we want to get our dogs ready for the season. And I also had a good hunting tip, which is the importance of hearing protection. So I wanted to talk to you about our puppy, Jackson. And this will lead into, I guess, how to find a good litter. Jackson is actually out of my male Rommel. So Rommel was my show dog, TV show dog, from Sporting Dog Adventures television. Rommel, I bought, I researched, found a great litter, bought this litter, and purchased Rommel. And I was so excited about getting him, and I'm just as excited about having Jackson, who is actually out of Rommel. How did we get Jackson out of Rommel, who's been dead for almost 5 years? Well, we had frozen semen from Rommel, so we had him collected, we had it saved for this moment. And when you look at breeding a dog, dogs in a 5-generation pedigree, if you looked at the genetic variation, once you get past 5 generations, it's infinitesimal. Rommel is out of all of our pedigrees because we haven't bred Rommel for about 10 years. Dogs, when you look at different generations, it's about every 2 years that you can have a new generation. And that has put Rommel on the outside of almost every one of my pedigrees. So it was cool because we can now bring his genetics back into our kennel as fresh, clean genetics. So again, when you hear about purebred breeding, you hear about dogs being inbred. This has nothing to do with any inbreeding. You are looking at pure genetics that are clean, that are well outside of any appreciable percentage same with our current genetics. And it is now almost, it's like an OG line. You're getting an original gangster line from Soggy Acres. That'll be started by our dog Jackson. So Jackson himself, he is a black Labrador Retriever. He throws yellow, he throws chocolate. How do you get that? Well, in labs, black is the dominant color. Chocolate and yellow are recessive colors. So with that said, both parents have to carry the black and the chocolate recessives for all of the puppies to carry those same traits, as well as to see any of those colors in a litter. We had a yellow female. Her name was Tara. And Tara had all 3 colors in her litter. She came out of my female Memphis. We had bred her to hardcore sharp dressed man who's a grand hunter retriever champion, master hunter, beautiful pedigree. Bred her to my dog Memphis. Had all 3 colors in the litter. Rommel threw all 3 colors, so their both parents carry all 3 colors, the black dominant, the yellow and chocolate recessives. Bred the 2 dogs artificially, obviously, because Rommel's passed. Had 7 beautiful puppies. We had chocolate, yellow, and black puppies in that litter. And then from there, it is picking one out. We picked out Jackson and now raising him. Now, Jackson won't be used as a stud dog until he's at least 2 years old, because that's when he can get his hip scanned, his elbow scanned, his eyes cleared. So it'll be a little bit of a wait, but boy, having a puppy, especially a high caliber puppy like Jackson, is fun. You watch him, you can see the traits, you can see that he's going to add to our kennel. You can see that he is going to be a great match with our lines. And you can also see that he's a puppy and a pain in the rear. It's I always get told by people that I'm so lucky because I get to play with puppies all the time. And it's like, boy, they are a lot of work. I mean, they are, especially as you get older, it is just a lot of work having to raise them, potty train them. Right now, he's in his terrible twos, as you could say if you looked at it with people. He is in this water drinking phase where if there is a bowl of water, we will drink it. And it's not because he's thirsty. It's also the water phase where if there's a bowl, we will play in it. But when we drink a ton of water, then we get to go out a lot. So he now understands that he has to go out, but he likes going out. So we're also dealing with the point of I have to go out. So you take him out like, oh, he has to go to the bathroom. Now he just wanted to go out and play around and pull a piece of grass out and eat it, or carry a stick around, or just run around in the yard. So it's something where it's a fun stage, a frustrating stage, but yet a short stage. So we're getting through that stage. Once we get toward our 6-month mark, we're going to start doing our formal training. The plan is I will be doing the obedience training. I will do the e-collar reinforcement training. I will do the trained retrieve up until water work because I don't have water at my new house. And then I'm going to put Jackson with A.G. Shaw Hardcore Retrievers, and Jackson will then start running competitively. So pretty much it'll be where I'm working with him through the fall. He is getting his overall his time in the house. He's getting acclimated. He's learning the rules of the home. And then once we get into winter next year, he will go south, and then he'll stay with AG, and he'll run through competition season, which is in September. And then we'll get him back for hunting season. He'll again run through competition season. Then we'll get him back for hunting season. And at that point, in theory, we probably should have our hunter retriever champion. We will probably be close to our master title, and we'll be well on our way to being a fine stud dog. So it is a fun thing. But again, even from my own perspective, when I look at having a stud dog, I had certain things that I wanted for my breeding program. So it's taking the time to look at things. It's looking at the pedigree. If you look at his pedigree, it's phenomenal. It's just stacked with field champions, master hunters. It is all title dogs. They all have great health, and they all had the look that I wanted in a stud dog. So when you're out there and you're looking for a dog, you want to make sure that you're finding what you're looking for. You want to find that pedigree. You want to find the ability and the health in the past generations, and you want to transfer that forward so that you're to your search, so that you are getting what you're looking for. Don't fall into the sales pitch. I have had people that have called and said, I want an American field dog, or I want an American lab, or I want a British lab. You're getting into sales pitches on that point. Look at pedigrees, look at temperament, look at how they're raised, look at the experience level of a kennel. Go look at the kennel. If they have lots of puppies that are unsold, if they have all of their females living in crates or kennels and they don't know what their names are, those should be things that you look at and go, okay, I'm not too sure about this. You want to make sure that you're getting a puppy from someone that has a clean facility, has their dogs placed in homes because that's what they deserve, and also has the genetics and the pedigree so that you look back and you're like, wow, this is really what I'm looking for. And I realize that I've probably repeated myself several times here, and I do apologize for that. It's been a little while since I've put together a how to buy a dog, more technical type of podcast. But you want to make sure that you're putting your time in so that you're getting what you want. Now with Jackson, we have been working on our potty training. Big deal. That is like one of the huge things with puppies, being consistent, making sure that they're supervised, making sure that they go outside. It's funny because I hear my own words that I tell clients when I'm dealing with my own dogs. With Jackson, it's okay, cool. We are potty trained. We're all set. So then you give them some freedom and you're not watching them. You have an accident in the house. You literally look and you're like, you little bugger. Because he got excited. He was playing with the other dogs and made the decision, I'm going to go to the bathroom here so I don't have to go outside. Okay, so you take a step back. And usually when there's been one accident, there's been an accident or two a couple of times, a couple of days in a row. Then it's the don't chew this. I swear that dog thinks that his name is Jackson. No. They want to chew on everything and they want to get into mischief. They want to explore everything, which is usually mischief. And it is making sure that he understands what his boundaries are. We're starting working on sit. We're starting working on here. We're starting working on kennel. Actually, kennel we're good at because when you get told Jackson no and yelled at, you get told kennel, and you know that you better get in your kennel. But once we get a little further into this, we're going to start walking on a leash. We will introduce the pinch collar, and then we'll turn to the e-collar once we get to the point where we are going to really amp up the formality in our training. So we're going to talk about more with that, how to transition from that puppy stage to that formal stage in the next segment. And then in the last stage of this, I wanted to talk to everyone about the importance of hearing protection when you're out shooting. So stay tuned for the rest of our podcast. We'll be right back after this. If you love the shooting sports like I do, you need to check out our friends at Mech Outdoors. They have fantastic products, whether you're looking at shot shell or metallic reloading, or you want to get yourself a clay thrower so you can practice up for the season. For more information, check out their website at mechoutdoors.com.
Welcome to Boucher in Janesville, where customer service is our #1 priority.
Our customers come back to us because of the experience that we provide for them.
We're here to make sure that we find you the right car, one that fits your budget, and do so in a timely manner.
When we say we ride with you every mile, it means we care about you and how you are treated.
Estamos con personal que habla español en los departamentos de servicio y venta.
Our certified technicians are here to help you with all your service needs.
Visit us today at boucher.com.
At Boucher, we ride with you every mile.
Welcome back. So now we've got our puppy Jackson that we were talking about. Talked a little bit about finding a puppy, how I translate that into breeding Jackson and looking for the right pedigree. Now we're going to talk about that transition from the Jackson no puppy stage to the formal stage that we'll be headed to here in a little bit. This stage happens at 5.5 to 6 months when I really start to put pressure on the dogs so that they understand that we're not as positive. We've got we've got probably more negative connotation for them, but we've got a higher level of positive. It's just there's a higher percentage of negative. With that said, we want to make it so that the dog understands this is no longer a suggestion. This is something you're going to do. And we're going to start to put more pressure on the dog, pressure with a pinch collar, pressure with an e-collar, pressure with our voice, so that the dog is put in this position where they have to decide. You're making them decide between taking the negative pressure or getting tons of positive pressure and doing what they're supposed to do. A well-bred dog wants to please you. A well-bred dog is going to choose that. This is just helping them. And it's always interesting. I do obedience dogs still. I no longer train gun dogs. I train my own, but I'm no longer training gun dogs for people. But what you'll see with people is with obedience dogs, when I get them in, everyone wants to give their dogs chances. E-collars, they have a warning or warning tone, warning buzz on it. And people say, well, I don't want to be mean and I want to give my dog a chance. And it's explaining to people that by giving the dog a chance, you're actually being, in their mind, if they think it's mean, you're being mean to your dog because you're confusing them. You're going to make the training process much longer by giving them freebies instead of just correcting them every time. If you are at a point where you're giving your dog 2 or 3 warnings, what you're doing is you're conditioning your dog to understand that they get 2 or 3 warnings. So they're always going to be challenging you on the things that you're trying to correct. If you correct a dog the first time, every time, the dog just in their mind realizes, wow, I don't have a choice. I have to actually do it. So that's what you want to hit with your dog. And that's where we're doing this transition from puppy to adulthood in our training, because we're now demanding that they will listen and do things the first time. Why is this important? 1, it's important because it helps your future training. 2, it's a safety thing. If your dog's about to run out on the road and they think they get 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 warnings, and they're chasing a bunny rabbit running out on the road, they're going to get hit by a car. If your dog understands, I get corrected the first time, every time, and you yell here, they're going to spin and come to you. If your dog is out in the field and they're going to run into danger, whether it would be bad cover that can injure them, into gunfire, into the decoy spread, whatever you're looking at, you want to be able to correct them the first time, every time, so they stay out of that danger. By giving them multiple chances, you're actually putting them in a position where it's not fair to the dog. Create your structure, work with your structure, reinforce your structure with the e-collar, and then you're going to have a dog that has a snappy response. You're going to be happier. You're going to give more praise. You're going to give the dog a better learning environment. And you're really going to help them in the future as you try to build that training house up from where you started, which is the ground floor. I've said it a lot of times. I feel like I have to keep repeating it because we have so many new people that listen to our podcast. But realize that your training starts with your basis, your foundation. Your foundation is your obedience, your e-collar training, and your force fetch. That's what your gun dog training starts with. If you're doing just obedience, just having a family dog you're going to take out in the field, it is, again, working with your obedience and then reinforcing with an e-collar. When we look at training with dogs, I constantly have to explain to people. People will say, well, I trained my last dog and my dog did great. And I didn't do any of that stuff. And generally speaking, it's not someone that waterfowl hunts. It's someone that upland hunts. Why? Because waterfowl hunting, you need far more control. You can't have a dog that runs in front of gunfire. You can't have a dog that is breaking and going out in front of gunfire. You can't have a dog that's breaking and scaring the birds. And it's trying to explain to people, it's not training when a dog is out running around flushing pheasants. If you're keeping them in close and you're using whatever obedience you've used, your whistle training, a lot of times it'll be someone that's used their e-collar to keep them within range. You're handling. That's not training, that's handling your dog. When you're seeing them out running, flushing, hard charging to retrieve, that's genetics. That is what the dog was bred for, and that's why they're doing that. When you look at your training is where they're under control. All training is about control. All training is about having them so that they listen. And all training is so that they are doing exactly what they're supposed to in the field, as opposed to the dog runs wild, the dog loves to flush birds, the dog brings birds back to 10 feet from me and drops it. That's their genetics. And then the training pushes them over the top so that they hunt as a teammate with you. You're going to be a handler in the field first with your trained dog, but you have to train them before you take them out to handle them in the field. I hope that makes sense. Next up, I wanted to talk about the importance of hearing protection in the next part of the show. We'll have all that and more coming up after this. It's Jeff Fuller from the Sporting Dog Adventures podcast, and I need a little help. Please stop what you're doing and give us a 5-star rating. Follow us on the platform you're on. Give us a thumbs up. And above all, share our podcast with your friends and family. our podcast will grow even more and we can get more people involved in the sport we love with dogs in the field. The Sporting Dog Adventures podcast is proudly brought to you by Soggy Acres Retrievers. Whether you're looking for a black, yellow, or chocolate Labrador Retriever puppy, please check out our website for more information at www.soggyacres.com. You can also email Jeff at sportingdogtv@gmail.com or call 262-215-9683. And remember, everyone deserves a Soggy dog. Hey, welcome back to the show. So for the last part of the show, I wanted to talk about the importance of hearing protection. It is something that I neglected and should not have. My reward for neglecting hearing protection is at 51 years old, I have hearing aids. Why? I have tinnitus, whatever you want to call it, in my ears. I have a significant drop in my ability to hear certain frequencies. And it all comes back to being in the military, being in law enforcement, and then having my hunting in the field and having the hunting TV show. I have shot so many times without hearing protection, and also been with my sons when we were out in the field and had them shooting where I didn't have hearing protection, that it has literally destroyed my hearing. You want to make sure that you are getting yourself good hearing protection that is going to protect you from those noises, that is going to protect you from chainsaws, tractors, lawnmowers, so many things, so that you are in a position that at 51, like me, you do not have fancy hearing aids. I will say they are nice. It's basically a Bluetooth where I can listen to podcasts and everything else, and I can adjust it to hear certain things, whether it would be better sound for music. There are benefits to it, but I really wish those benefits didn't come at my current age. So again, protect your hearing. Put earplugs in. They have electric ones that will amplify surround sound around you so that you can hear even better, as well as mute loud noises. They are just about all Bluetooth capable. If you get the electric ones, there are a lot of options out there, but you want to make sure you're protecting your hearing. I hope that helps. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Everyone take care. Thank you so much for listening. I know there's a lot of options out there. We're planning on really kicking it into gear here this summer and getting going on the podcast. Please check back every week for new episodes. And also, if you're looking for a puppy, check out Soggy Acres Retrievers. SoggyAcres.com is our website. We currently have 2 black females in one litter, 1 black female in another litter. They go home here in the next couple of weeks. Great pups. Would be a great start for you if you're looking for something to get into the field. Have a great week, everyone, and God bless.
Sporting Dog Adventures, run, boy, run. Everything you